Alexia and Marysol, Danny and I are so happy to have you on the podcast to discuss Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3. I can't believe it's finally here and happening. We both just binged the first 3 episodes, and y'all are bringing the Miami heat.
We are?
Yeah, we like
We're
that.
dying to see it. Tell us
Yes, we
everything.
haven't even watched.
Well,
Tell us.
see, episode 3 is when you guys tried to have a nice yacht moment that some people made not nice.
Oh, okay, yeah, that was me. I was hosting the yacht party. Did these ladies ruin it for me? Per usual.
I mean, you try to make it nice with the Cuban sandwiches, the fun little shady game, which I loved learning all the Cuban lingo. That was really fun. I learned a lot there.
It's a must if you come visit Miami.
It definitely was a lot of chaos. And I feel like Giselle was one of the main agents of chaos. She loved stirring the pot. She loved asking the questions, and she was gonna make sure that no questions were answered in Spanish.
Well,
What was your take on the Giselle of it all? She was doing a lot. She was doing the most.
yeah, I feel like she does. Yeah, she does the most. But I mean, I don't know her like out, in that way outside the show. So I don't know if she's really like that in her everyday life.
She must be.
She gets to, yeah, I mean, I think that this is who she is. And you have to remember, this isn't like the other shows, like the Housewives shows, which we have 3 months of filming. This is like 8 days of filming. So we don't have a lot of time. We really needed to get to know each other like really quick. So she was really good at it. She was really good at asking questions.
And who do you two feel that you opened up with the most on the trip that you're like, oh, I would hang out with them now? Anyone else?
You know what? I hang out with Portia, with Candace, Heather, Whitney, with all of them. Truthfully, with all of them.
Yeah, we liked all of them.
What about Leah? Because
I knew that was the next question.
You two embark on a very interesting journey with Leah. Well, first, I just want to start off with this very sweet moment in the Sprinter van that we see with you and Leah. Alexia, she opens up to you and she's like, I've watched some of Miami and I really appreciate how open and vulnerable you are for the show. So let's just start there. How did it feel to have her express that admiration to you?
Well,
was
amazing.
Sorry?
I think it's amazing because we really make an effort to be extremely authentic. And Alexia and I speak every day, but no matter what, if we're going to film a scene, we always know we do not tell each other what we're going to talk about.
Well, no, but she's talking about me because Leah and I were having this conversation, which means she's watched the show and she's actually admiring me and respecting the fact that I've always been so open and so genuine and so real, and I've shared my story and I've been transparent. She and I were having this conversation in the Sprinter. Like I said, I felt like Leah, for example, and Candace, these were 2 women that one-on-one, when I was with them one-on-one, they were incredible. And I had so much in common with them. We had a great conversation and it was genuine, it was real. But I felt like when we were in a group situation, their personalities would change a little bit. I'm not saying that I had something to do with it, but even like Leah, when we were having dinner, first she's saying like she was so loved my story, and then she attacks me and says like your story's super boring, like you need to like stop talking about it already. So she has like these personality changes, I feel like, when she's alone versus when she's like with the whole group. But I did get to see that, at least, I got to see that side to her, which I like and which I love, actually, because she was very real as well. And we had great conversation about her daughter, about her kids, about many things. And with Candace, the same thing. But then for whatever reason, when they get to the group, it's like they transform.
Do you feel the transformation? Because I know Heather was saying Whitney transformed a little bit to impress the group. Do you think they do it to impress people, or because they're a little like on defense automatically?
For me,
I think Leah likes that shock factor. I think in her case, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I think that it could even be her. I think at that moment, because it wasn't about Leah, she just wanted to say something like that. I don't even think she realized that what she said could upset me or could upset anybody else.
Yeah, I wonder if she realized what she said completely contradicted what she said previously.
Exactly.
Wow.
I was like, right. And I didn't even bring that up because I was in such, honestly, I hadn't even forgotten she was sitting there because she sat, to herself. She, her body language really showed she wasn't really participating that night and she didn't really care, but not because we did that to her. Like she does it to herself. Like, that's why I can't even feel sorry for her because I feel like does it to herself.
And Marysol, you were dealing with a little sickness of the first few days, which is the worst because I hate being sick on a trip because you're like, this is supposed to be fun.
Tell me about it. I had to take care of her.
And you had to share a room.
Yeah.
Well, thank God she had you, Alexia.
Thank God there was a nurse on staff because he gave me some medication. And by day 3.5, I was starting feeling better. Day 4, I was back to myself and I felt way, way better. I came home and I found out I had like bad gastritis, which is like an inflammation of the lining of your intestines. And it was horrible. It was pretty bad. So I take medication for it now still since the trip.
Oh, wow. Did you send your doctor prescription to Leah because she was kind of thinking you were sick just because like you have vodka for breakfast and everything?
Oh, whatever. She's just jealous because she can't hold her booze.
Well, speaking of Leah and her booze, there was this moment at the beginning of the trip between Heather and Leah, which it was a little awkward because Heather's talking about, I want to support you. She wants to support her sobriety, but then cut to, she's like, I want to get Leah drunk. And then Leah gets upset because she's like, wow, like, my journey, you even read about it in my book. And now you want me to relapse. What was your take on that situation? The both of you kind of processing all that chaos.
I had a little bit of
that too.
Similar text exchange with her many months before. I said, you know what? I applaud your sobriety and the efforts you've made. Like, I wish I could do that, but a part of me would still like to go run around and throw tiki torches and get crazy with you with that, Leah, And then she snapped at me about that on the trip, like 7 months later about that text. And, I wasn't coming from a bad place. Obviously, I wish I could go cold turkey like her, but I don't have the same, alcohol doesn't affect me the way it affects her. I don't know. Some people cannot drink. They just lose their mind. They get nasty, they get crazy. Me, I'm always the same. I'm just a little more fun and light and that's it. But so I think that Heather was probably trying to say that, but didn't say it in the right way, basically.
No, I think it's something, I think it came from a good place as well. Because of course we were all supporting and we'll always support Leah's sobriety. But it was just a moment. It's kind of like you forget, oh my God, let's start to make you, because we can't relate to it because we haven't been there.
Exactly.
So, I'm sorry, because it's not like in a bad way. And I'm not justifying what Heather said, but I know that Heather's intentions are not for Leah to relapse.
Of course not.
Yeah. So, it was just in a playful way. And I get it. Leah could have had a lot of pressure because, yes, we were surrounded by alcohol the entire time and we were drinking.
Yeah. Yeah. That's hard.
Alexia, I love on Miami how you say you're the star and you're a Taurus. We have the same birthday. So I know what you mean.
So that makes us a star.
That's my dad's birthday.
So
wait, May 12th?
What's yours?
May
3rd, like mine. Yes. Okay.
So I speak Taurus too. I know what you mean by Taurus. But I have to know, how did you feel about Candace making herself the star at the Ladyboy dance when she came out in her outfit? Were you guys shocked at that?
No.
I wasn't. I told Candace even like before when we were just like in the pool, like after one of the nights that we were just like, we had like wrapped up and we all went like skinny dipping in the pool. And I think that's where we bonded even more. And I told Candace, like, you were born a star. Like, you need to, I find her so talented. I love her voice, her vocals. She's so theatrical. She's so smart. She's so articulate. Like, I see her doing like huge things, and she's way younger. Remember Marysol?
Yeah.
Like, I had this feeling about her.
You're wasting your time doing reality TV. You need to be a full-time singer. You're amazing.
Yeah, no, and not only a singer, like, I feel like she's so much. And I think like she gets so caught up and, in her role with the reality show that I think it's taking away, at least like what I had heard about it, you know, it was taking a lot of like her piece and who she was. And I was like, you know what, you're so much younger. And then it's funny because then she turned to me and she said, well, how come you're doing it? How come you came back to Miami? I said, okay, well, let me tell you my story. I'll tell you why I came back.
You're not a singer, bro.
Right.
You don't have that other career.
And by the way, I'm 20 years older than you. No, it wasn't even that. I mean, I did, honestly, when I started off doing the show, just like you, Marysol, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into. No. This was in 2010, you know, and I had the magazine. I thought it was a great opportunity to, you know, for the magazine to go national. It was so many things that I didn't know. And I found like it was going to be a great opportunity for business, and it wasn't what it is today. You know, I think that nowadays it has both. It's kind of like we have more information about it to decide whether we would want to do something like this or not. But I think it's also more damaging because of social media. And, you know, we've talked about this, Marysol, before. Yeah. You know, I feel like when we did it, we were in our own little like Bravo world and our reality, but now it's like it's open, you know, and anybody could just come onto your, you know, apart from what we go through in our day-to-day while we're filming and in our stories, then after that's done and the viewers see it, they also have things to say about it and comment. So it's like a lot, you know. So I was just giving advice to Candace that way that, you know, it didn't bother me. I thought that she was born to do this. I think she's an amazing performer. We enjoyed it a lot. It's exactly what we needed that night after that dinner, right? Yes. It was like, we need some music and we need some dancing because you know what? Music and dancing always make things better.
Yeah, I mean, hello, Faya made things better momentarily on the boat in Miami. So put on a good song and the whole vibe can change.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I love the song. Doesn't mean I like her, but I love her. I like her song.
Wait, speaking of Faya and speaking of her, we are also not only gearing up for Girls Trip Season 3, but we are in the middle of this very heated Miami reunion. How are things currently between you two and Adriana? Did we find any resolution at the reunion?
Nope.
Well, I mean, you'll have to watch because, you know, we still have a second part and a third part, but you'll have to watch. I mean, I don't want to like give it away for anybody. You'll have to watch because there's a lot, you know, and I feel like in order to have a resolution, like for me, it has to be real because for me, it's all about being genuine and authentic. So, you know, I'm not going to say sorry for something that I'm not sorry about, which I already said that. I have to feel it in my heart. And then when you're talking to somebody that has a history and a pattern of, you know, of lies and of her being the aggressive one and the bully and how she's deflecting from her situation and she's trying to paint this picture of me this season of somebody that I am not. And I've just had to keep on defending myself, you know, and I felt like in the reunion.
Broken and wounded. I will follow the broken and wounded stuff. Help me. She was on an app 5 years ago hitting on my ex, and then she wants us to be worried about her because she got divorced 2 years ago. That math doesn't even make sense.
Well, exactly. Well, legally divorced because she was separated she was separated a long time ago from Frederick and she got legally divorced because divorces take long for whatever reasons. But what I'm trying to say is like just a 3-part reunion, not even a 10-part reunion would have fixed my friendship with her. Because first of all, like, you know, you have to come. I'm willing to talk if you come with the truth. If you're going to come with lies, I'm out. And I think that that's what's happening. And even after the reunion, which is even more disappointing, is the fact that she went on a press tour to badmouth myself and my family, just to bash us. I mean, this is all she's doing. She's deflecting, bringing things up from the past, things that I said.
But if she was really sorry about what she said, then why would she do that? She's taking
That's what I'm saying. Well, hello, thank you. I'm proving my point.
Exactly.
She's mad and angry. She's mad and angry because she lost. She lost in the reunion because she showed up to continue to say lies. And she, in all honesty, doesn't like us for whatever reason. And she's trying to paint a picture of somebody that I'm not.
We know why she doesn't like us, because we got to go on Ultimate Girls Trip.
Ultimate Girls Trip. Really? You see, there it ties right in. Oh, yes.
The minute
100% good point, Marysol.
I told Alexia, don't tell the girls, because somehow Adriana will find out. We knew all the girls would be happy for us, but we knew Adriana would be pissed. And the minute she found out, we get to the Bahamas, you get attacked on the bus, and it never stops.
Correct.
No, sorry, in the Keys.
Yes.
The Keys.
Yeah. In the Keys, not the Bahamas.
On the plane in the Keys.
So I was so excited because we had just found out that we were going on the Ultimate Girls Trip. I was happy that Miami was going. I was happy, you know what, representation, Miami, you know, we just had one season and we come back. Everyone's loving us. We're going with Potomac, Salt Lake City. I was happy. And you know, when I'm happy and I think I want to share my happy news. And I thought everybody else would be. You know, we're all part of this. But well, you knew because, you know, you and Adriana secretly have a rivalry because you're both friends. And then Marysol is my friend. So, you know, she'd probably rather be friends with me. It's deep, you know, it's deep. And it stems back. It has a lot of backstory. No, yes, you do, because that's what it is. She does with you, and you know that. She was jealous that you came back, that everybody loves you, that you're so funny, that people relate to you. And she was the one that came back attacking Larsa, not being nice, and she's always played that card. That's her.
Well,
you know,
this is so interesting. That really adds a lot of context to the conflict you guys were facing when you were traveling together. You think that she was jealous that you two were asked to go to Thailand?
100%. And Marysol always knew it. Marysol told me, please
do not
tell
let her
them.
find out. She is gonna make us pay for it. We're gonna have a hellish season, and that's exactly what happened.
Wow. Because the shit does seem after that trip, because Miami, you guys were having, I mean, so much was happening in the season, but it was so fun too. You guys were all like one unit, but then after that trip is when the divide started to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, sometimes you need to listen to the boozer.
Yeah. Well, Adriana, she did on the press tour that you mentioned, Alexia, she stopped by our podcast and she...
Oh, I'm sure she did. You guys love that. Thank you for inviting her.
She did express sympathy for the comments she made about Frankie and for the comments she made about your previous relationship, Marysol. Why are you unable, for both of you, or are you able to accept an apology at this point?
So I'm a very, very, very loyal person. And I have run into her ex-husband, Frederick, many times. To this day, I have never asked that man for his phone number. I don't even know how to find him or get in contact with him. And for her to go on an app where the women have to reach out to the men and to reach out to him, knowing that I lived with him for many years and that was a very serious relationship, she looked for it, she gave him her number, and she let him say those things to her. That's not what friends do. I will never accept that. She broke the girl code. How could I ever trust her in my home, around my husband? Never. Never. That wounded me profoundly. I would never do that to her or anybody I care about. So that's not my friend.
And what about you?
So for me, I never considered her a friend. We always were civil. For me, friend is a big word. And even before that, I was talking to Marysol about that. It was somebody that was a coworker that I met through work. We always had a nice, amicable, respectful, and I always felt like love for her. You know, I never feel, for me, not to like somebody, it takes a lot is what I'm trying to say. But with her, she never did anything to me personally for me to dislike her. She had done things to a lot of people around me that she had done things to that's why they dislike her, even Leah Black for that matter. Now I understand and I believe and I get the whole story. So, you know, she's done a lot of things to people that I've cared for or that I care for, and I can see it. And now it was my turn. Now she did it to me. So I just don't appreciate how she just turns everything around, including the guy that, you know, that supposedly she was dating, you know, to my wedding party. She took him one time. She had no relationship with the guy. Again, you know, turns everything around, and like she wants to blame us how we messed up her relationship. There was no relationship. What kind of guy is going to go on a reality show for 5 minutes if you want something serious with a woman? I mean, we knew it was a joke from the beginning. So it's just like everything she does, it like just doesn't align with me, with who I am. And, you know, I've been always very transparent. You know, everybody knows everything about me. All she does is talk about me and my past, and like it's just everything. I mean, look what she did to me last season. She literally sat there and said that Herman died in in his lover's arms.
Which, you know, and by the way, I love on Girls Trip season 3. You say, and you know what? If that were the case, that is a beautiful
a way to go.
To leave this earth.
I know, like, and I really believe that and feel that in my heart. Like I feel we all should. I mean, what a great way of dying. with somebody that you love and having sex. I mean, I think that's incredible. I think that's the best way.
To your point is that she says very hurtful things.
Hurtful things. Nowhere. She throws them there. Of course, that's what I'm saying.
Evan, you saw the way she looked at me with her teeth. It was like, he said he never loved you. What was the point? The point was to hurt me for no reason. I came in happy. Coming to see my friends. What was the point of all that?
So which is the point of the Bahamas trip? When she gives us the stone, she gave me that she wishes me happiness. No, every time like she sees that I'm happy, that I'm happily married, and that my kids are good, and then, you know, my life seems to be, you know, getting into place. So she wants to come and take away that happiness because she is that person. Like she just can't see other people, other women happy.
Going into it, did you guys know, or did you do some research about all the drama that people were bringing? Because Heather and Whitney were going at it. Giselle and Candace had such an intense season. Were you worried about that? Because I loved on the yacht trip you guys did, you were telling Whitney showing the black eye photo is going to be messy. And if you care about Heather, don't do that. So did you try to mediate a lot, or just like kind of when you could?
No, I mean, it was kind of like when I could, because it was hard to get a word in. I mean, it was a lot going on, a lot.
Yeah.
And we were like always together. You know, it wasn't like, you know, sometimes, you know, when you're on the Housewife shows, it's kind of like you film 2 or 3 girls, people. You have different scenes. So you can speak a little bit more. But with this kind of group and like the settings that we had, it was hard to get a word in. But yeah, I mean, that was always my advice. Like, I just thought it was so sad for me to know that they were so close and that they were fighting so hard. It was like, it was hard for me to watch.
Yeah. Well, but you know what? Because I think that Alexia and I we're very close, and we always know we don't let the show come between us. And we could see the show was coming between them. And we didn't want that to happen to them because they're family, they're cousins.
Do you feel Team Whitney or Team Heather after the trip? Because I feel like you two got along very well with Heather, at least what we can see from the first 3 episodes.
You know, I gravitated towards Heather. I'm going to tell you honestly, when I met both of them, even though I hadn't watched their show, I loved both of them. I wanted to be friends equally with both of them. Marisol and I actually thought that it was going to be us 4. It was going to be Salt Lake City and Miami. Then it turned out we were more like Portia and Giselle, which is a little bit of both. So, you know, so it's not like what you expected. But then again, I didn't know Heather and Whitney were in a bad place. So I was like, oh,
yeah, neither did I.
Okay. Then I felt bad. I was like, if I talk too much to Heather, then I would feel like, you know, Whitney's going to think I'm on Team Heather.
Oh my God, I felt the same way.
And then if I talked with Whitney, I was like, Heather's going to look at me.
So then we just kind of stayed away from them because we didn't want either of them to feel bad that one was getting more attention than the other.
Right. But I know like deep inside, I feel like they both knew that we liked both of them. The thing with Heather was like, she was like the underdog. Like she came in, everybody attacked her. So I felt bad. I put myself in the position. I was like, wow, like this is a lot. Like I would pack my bags and just go back home.
Yeah.
Too long of a flight.
Oh my God. And Heather had like 6 suitcases, remember? Like all her red suitcases than me, and that's a lot. Yeah,
that's a lot.
After discussing the Salt Lake City drama with Heather and Whitney, and even the other girls, after they share their perspectives about everything, do you two have theories about the black eye? What do you think happened? How do you think she got it?
Wait, but did they show the part where we couldn't understand what they were saying? We kept hearing black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, what black guy?
I kept on telling Marysol, I was like, what's wrong about her having a black guy? I'm like, where are these?
We couldn't understand. We thought it was a black guy. And then we thought it was a black eye.
A black eye, yeah. It's funny, yeah, we didn't know that. You're right. We didn't find out till then.
Did they show that?
I don't think so. I don't remember that part, but it's funny. Danny and I have talked about the black eye a lot on our podcast, and my mom was listening to our podcast and she thought we said black guy as
well. You see
yeah, she was like,
what's like, oh my God, why are they doing that to her? Like, what's wrong with her? She can go out with whoever she wants. It was weird. But yeah, but you know what, we really respected that Heather left Thailand and still didn't say how she got the black eye or who gave her the black eye. I knew that I always wanted to be friends with her because I want to have a friend like that.
And you know, because you and Marysol are kind of like that friendship unit. And that's why I was so excited you guys are on the podcast together, because I got worried in the trailer seeing some screaming back and forth. Did you guys have a tense moment? And what happened with that? How did we get through it?
Well, that was the last night, and Alexia and I were the only girls sharing a room. So we had cameras, suitcases on top of us. We couldn't reach our family. We were in a different time zone. I was sick. And on the last night, we blew up. But by the way, Giselle helped because she fingered us.
Giselle, it's your fault.
Giselle was
That sounds right.
We love you, Giselle.
Giselle was like, these are the only two that haven't fought. And there's like the last night, so I'm going to finger that and make it. And then, we were ready to pop.
It happens.
We're fine.
It happens, but we're good. Fine. We're sisters. That's what we're saying. Like, we love it. We love like sisters. We fight like sisters. And, we can say all that to each other, and then we'll be like, hugging and kissing, like, we just go on like if nothing. But, it did make it better, I guess. Just
we had a hard night. We both didn't sleep very well. And the next day we woke up, we were like crying. I'm like, I love you. I'm like, I love you too. And then we just kind of
again, I think it's because we brought it in from the season prior to that. We were filming till last minute. 7-8 days later, we got on the plane for Thailand. So I think that all the girls, not only Miami, brought in back, like a backstory from their season. Mm-hmm. So obviously that transferred over to the Ultimate Girls Trip because we had just come off of our season and there were things that were not resolved in our season. Right.
And
you guys get to see that.
Cleared it up.
Yeah, we did.
Well, Danny and I are obsessed with your friendship, like totally BFF goals. For the girls who still aren't getting along, because Whitney and Heather, they're not getting along in real life right now. Giselle and Candace have definitely seen better days. What advice could you give them to possibly mend fences, make things better? Or like, do you see hope for those pairs of girls?
Well, I personally think that like Potomac, Candace and Giselle probably met doing the show. They're not friends from before. But Heather and Whitney are family from
and they don't have to like each other. That's the other thing. Sorry.
Like, they don't have to like each other.
No, you have to be civil because we're co-workers. So if you really like your job, you have to,
make an effort. But Heather and Whitney need to figure it out because they're actually related. And they ended up on a show together, and it makes me sad to see that they don't.
Yeah. And you know what? I think it needs to be between Heather and Whitney. It's only about them too, because even if we were going to help in any way, I mean, how uncomfortable is that? Like for them to just like to spill their guts just there in front of all of us, which are strangers, by the way. So, I feel they have to find their own time and just make it about them too. Mm-hmm. Without the cameras. I know the viewers like to see everything and it's not, but sometimes you got to get to that place,
right?
Generally, whether the camera's here or not here, and you'll obviously see the fruit of it, at the end. But I do think that they love each other. Even when they were fighting, you could still see, right, Marysol? Like when they were not getting along, they still cared about each other. They would sit down and eat together. I was like, okay, you just insulted each other, but they would sit down and eat. That's how you really love each other.
I mean, Heather tied in Whitney's weave right before they were screaming at each other. So I mean, love. That is love.
Yeah, no, for sure there's love. And where there's love, you got to fix it.
It almost was nicer for Leah and Portia because they came in not really knowing anybody. And they're like, oh, once I leave, the drama's staying in Thailand.
Right. It's true. I always said that. I said that they came with an advantage because, they came by themselves. That's why I thought Leah was going to make more of an effort. Portia did. Portia was so much fun. Yeah. And, she always had something to say, but, she was amazing. But, and I was hoping the same thing with Leah because I was like, she came by herself. Like, what an opportunity to get to be friends with all the ladies. And, and she's fun herself. I can see her being fun, but just everything went like the wrong direction.
She kind of got there in like an odd, she wasn't.
I don't think she was happy being there, at least that's what I felt in the beginning. So
now we got to let you ladies go. But before we let you go, if you could have brought one other Miami girl with you to Thailand, who would it have been?
Oh, I don't know.
Lisa or Larsa. Lisa or Larsa. Yeah.
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 I mean, Lisa because, Lisa because she's, Lisa without the divorce, because she went through a lot, like the Lisa we know, the fun, bubbly Lisa that loves to have fun because she would have brought the fun along with me. And Larsa too. I mean, those are our girls.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Yes, yes. No, I'm manifesting that. I would love to see you two back on a girls trip with Lisa and or Larsa. That would be incredible. Thank you for taking the time. Danny and I really, really appreciate it. We love you girls so much.